Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so Rolex talking points. Now, the previous video we looked at pages 4 and 5 of the talking points book given to Rolex employees. This is page 6 and 7. Now, we've already talked about the oyster case. Beautiful case right there with the glass and the back, but just no movement. That's kind of a cool thing. I would just, I don't know, it looks like artwork or something. You could just, I don't know, sit that like on your desk and stare at it. It's kind of nice to see the, just the shell. Very interesting. And then you've got some crowns here. All right, let's read. Now, the heading here is the waterproof case. So kind of going into a little bit more detail of the oyster case. Achieving a truly waterproof watch case presented major problems for a very long time. Indeed, centuries passed before there was a satisfactory solution. How, in effect, was it possible to seal three components, case, glass, and winding crown, while making it possible for a watchmaker to get at the movement from above or below and to preserve the mobility of the crown? Let me stop right there. That's very interesting. So, when it comes to the case, there are, I guess, three, points that you have to worry about moisture getting in, right? The case, back, the crystal, and the crown. And you need access through all of those points, to wind the watch if you're talking the crown. And I guess a watchmaker would have to be able to get in, through the back and the front. Rolex found an excellent answer to this question with the invention of the oyster. The very high precision and great care that are present throughout the manufacture of an oyster result in a case that is virtually a miniature safe, extremely strong and practically indestructible. 4:15. All right, that's the 4:15 chime outside. Time to come in from the rice fields. That is really cool. If I were selling oysters, I would probably memorize that, like a miniature safe, extremely strong, virtually indestructible. That's a great selling point. I mean, that's something that you could tell a man looking for a tough watch, and wow, that would really resonate. It's like a safe. That's really cool. Twin lock and trip lock. All right, this is page 7, and you've got a little bit of an illustration right here. Well, no, it actually looks like a picture of the inner workings of the crown. The winding stem of a wristwatch presents one of the main obstacles to waterproofing. Rolex overcame it with the invention of a winding crown that screws down onto the case. Highly reliable from the moment it was invented in 1926. The Rolex winding crown has been regularly improved since. At the moment, it exists in two versions, twin lock and trip lock, making the twin lock crown so-called because it offers double protection, requires no less than 32 operations. It is machined with exacting precision and screws onto the case. It can be compared to the hatch of a submarine and is fully effective in protecting the movement. It can be compared to the hatch of a submarine. Again, really cool imagery here, directly from Rolex. I guess that's the coolest thing. It's one thing for me to liken it to a submarine hatch, but it's another thing coming from the, the lips of Rolex itself. The triplock crown offers triple protection, and this invention was perfected by Rolex for its diving watches. Some of these models are guaranteed waterproof to depths of 300 meters, 610 meters, and even 1,220 meters. The 3 dots on the winding crown make it easy to distinguish a triplock from a twin lock. Yeah, so I think most people know that. If you look at your oyster case, if it's got 2 dots, it'd be a twin lock, and if it's got the 3 dots, it'd be a trip lock crown. Trip lock, always thought that they should call it a triple lock. Triplock, yeah, maybe triplock rolls off the tongue a bit better. Not for me to be giving advice to Rolex, perhaps. So, yeah, you know, if I were selling Rolex watches, I think I would definitely work that into my spiel about, you know, the crown essentially being likened to a submarine hatch. Yeah, that really resonates with me for some reason. It's interesting. They say the highly reliable from the moment it was invented in 26. Sorry, let me read that again. Highly reliable from the moment it was invented in 1926. Now, again, if you were, you know, selling watches, you'd probably want to, you know, use the word invent versus innovate. Now, of course, there were other screw-down crowns, apparently. I know some watches had sort of like a separate, it was almost like a cap you would put on, you know, on the crown. But yeah, I don't really know the specifics of like how they innovated it, but I think, you know, it's interesting that it's not like two separate mechanisms. It's not like, you know, you've got the winding crown and then a separate cap, which is kind of clunky. Imagine, you know, a regular winding crown and then a separate cap that you would have to take off and, you know, set on the table when you were setting it. You know, this is just, it's a great design in the sense that, you know, it stays together. There's no like pieces that can get lost. You unscrew it, you can wind it, set the watch, and then, you know, it just screws. I mean, it's really brilliant innovation, if not invention, however you want to view it. And it's something that, wow, you know, it's many watches have used that same design, or a similar design, I should say. Anyway, that was kind of sort of part 2, pages 6 and 7 of Rolex talking points. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Take care. See you next time.